Chris Brown speaks out about the Michael Jackson comparisons. Plus, Usher injures his neck before concert kickoff night. And while 50 Cent graces the cover of Us Weekly magazine, Michelle Obama prepares to speak at the Democratic National Convention. Hey, critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It's Saturday, August the 18th, 2024. Hey, critics, it's time to chronicle. Up first, y'all, let's talk TV. Adrienne Bailon is going to be stopping by Tamron Hall today to talk life, marriage, and what things are next for her. The ever so epic Miss Kim Fields, she's going to be stopping by the show on Tuesday. And then for Sherry Shepherd, Kamora Lee Simmons is going to be stopping by the show on Friday. Plus, Sherry is actually going to be going over to Jennifer Hudson's show on Thursday. And while that's going to be where Sherry will be on Thursday, on Wednesday, Babyface is gonna be by to promote his brand new album called Girls Night Out. Side note, y'all, I like it when Babyface actually teams up with Toni Braxton. I believe that they could do just sort of like an old school meets new school, like an R&B show tour. I'm always trying to tell people what to do. I'm always trying to give ideas to all these people. If y'all hear me, feel free to snatch it up. Feel free to snatch it up. And then speaking of snatching it up, y'all can snatch up some of these hoopla picks. These are some of my top 5. I talked about new music Friday. And while these aren't all brand new music, all of these albums that I'm going to be naming are albums from 2024. Additionally, while I always talk about books, I'll be getting back to the books a little bit later, but I want to kind of focus on the music, although I know this is not music month, right? So Ira Star, she has a brand new album. She's a Nigerian singer and also a songwriter. Her brand new album is titled The Year I Turned 21. She's also been nominated as well for a few BET Awards, including Best New Artist. Then you got Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane has a brand new album called Greatest of All Trappers, Gangsta Grills Edition. It's a brand new album. Megan has Meg the Stallion. YG also has a brand new album that's there. And he also was on TMZ, just reported that he was just doing some positive things out there in Compton, I believe. And then also Post Malone, F1 Trillion. That's a brand new album that's available there as well on Hoopla. Now, I will tell you that the Hoopla, some of the days for different categories differ, right? So, for example, like books, I think you can rent those for maybe like 21 days. And then you have music. Music is only for about 7 days or so, right? But I like Hoopla because, again, it's a free platform that's available through your public library. Because here, y'all, at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine show that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. All right, y'all, you know what time it is. It's time for critical news that you can use. Want to send our love and condolences to comedian Lonnie Love, excuse me. She lost her mom earlier this month, I'm sorry. Had a chance to actually meet Lonnie Love back in my college days. She also went, if you remember, I talked about this a few episodes ago. She just kind of went on like a just sort of a suggestion rant that Tyler Perry should get more Black writers to go in the studio and actually write for him, and just kind of letting people know. And Tyler Perry actually just released a brand new movie, and the movie is called Divorce in the Black. It, of course, features Megan Good. I talked about that a few episodes ago, where I was focused more on the fact that the folks that were in this movie, the leads, felt like they were paid what they were worth, right? Megan Good, and then also Corey as well, who was the co-star that was the lead right next to her. She also brought him into that project. I know I keep saying that, but just as a sort of like a reminder to people, but he also felt the same way she did, that Tyler Perry was paying them what they're worth. And so in a day and age like this, where we have even our teachers, right, who are not paid at all, in my opinion, but K through 12, oh my goodness, not paid at all what they are worth. Just wanted to kind of take time to to focus in on that. But I do agree with Lonnie. I do think that there can be some upgrades as it pertains to um writing in not just some of Tyler Perry's movies, but particularly in the for the culture. You know what I'm saying? I think that we can do just sort of a better job of getting some different stories out there of what people see in terms of the community. So I'll digress from that, but I definitely have way more to say. But want to send love and also just sort of condolences as well to comedian Lonnie Love, who lost her mom earlier this month. I also want to send some love over to Usher. He injured y'all his neck. Yeah, I could go on for, and on about the injury, but he actually took to Instagram to talk a little bit about it. And I saw this first on one of my IG friends Instagram who just said, "Hey, Usher canceled his concert, came all the way to Atlanta, something of that nature." And I was just like, "Wait, what?" And then I looked it up, and then that's when I saw that Usher basically had injured himself. He responded with the following, saying, "For my 30-plus-year career, 100% of my blood, sweat, and tears have gone into putting on the best performances and creating a memorable experience for my fans. I have every intention of doing that for this tour as well, which is why I have to postpone tonight's show and reschedule it for a later date to give my body a second to rest and heal." TheGrill.com confirms that Usher is expected to make stops across the US and Europe to locations, y'all, including Boston, Chicago, London, Toronto, and more. Yeah. Sending love to Usher. I hope that you get well soon. I think Usher was also scheduled to perform tonight and I think yesterday as well. So hopefully he was able to make those performances. So not a cancellation, just kind of like a postponement, very similar. And speaking of postponing, let's talk a little bit about well, some of y'all asked me about Kirk Franklin in the interview. I have not had a chance to watch it yet. Especially not in its entirety. It's a lengthy interview. I talk about how some of these interviews be long, y'all. I think it was Amanda Seales interview that somebody asked me to watch, and I was like, dang, this interview was like 2.5 hours. Well, the Kirk Franklin interview that he did with football star Cam Newton, that one is like a 3-hour interview, y'all. So I will be watching that. I'll just kind of get back to you once I've done it in its entirety. But I did have a chance to see some clips. But what I will say this, some of the clips that I saw, I think it was just kind of about the Western church or something like that, and how I guess kind of families put this pressure on women to be, married at a certain age, or just kind of questioning why you aren't married if you get to a certain age. And so there was nothing that was controversial, I think, about what he said, particularly about that part. But what I saw a few months ago was the Kirk Franklin story. He has that on his YouTube channel. If you watch that interview also with Cam Newton, y'all put something below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. But I actually watched the Father's Day story that he has on his YouTube channel. If you have not had a chance to go watch it, please do, because I also saw a clip of Cam just kind of saying in terms of how he relates to Kirk, and it was because of, I guess, sort of his father's story, and and sort of that void in his life, and even to the point of his mom not telling him the truth about who his dad or his real father, actually is. Even still to this day. If you watch the interview again with Cam, let me know. I want to know what you think. Kirk, in my opinion, y'all, he's always giving me the hip hop gospel, right? For those of you that think that gospel music has gone too far, listen, okay, listen. Kirk had everybody in that thing. Is this gospel or is this? Dun, 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 dun. You didn't? Okay, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Once y'all check out the interview, once I check out the interview, y'all, I'm definitely gonna be sure to just kind of let you know. All right, and let me tell you who letting us know, y'all, is Miss Tina Knowles. She's back. To just Miss Knowles, she can remove that Lawson off because her divorce, y'all, is final. Okay. Mama Tina has reached a settlement agreement with her new, I guess her new now ex-husband. Her now ex-husband, I guess. I didn't even need to put the new in there. I don't even know where that came from, y'all. Veteran actor Richard Lawson. And it looks like she gets away with owing him only about $300,000. I don't think that that's much in comparison to what probably the fortune was. I wonder if they had a prenup. Probably, right? Right? Everybody should have a prenup. That's what Phaedra Park says, something very smart on one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta shows, when somebody said something about a prenuptial agreement when they were in the one of the finales, okay, to be specific. I don't remember which one, but she said any smart woman, right, would have a prenuptial agreement. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Now, blacknews.com reported that Knowles filed back in July of 2023 following 8 years of marriage. In the settlement, Tina will get the 2018 Tesla. Shout out to the 18 Tesla. The Teslas, I like the Teslas. Now, I don't like some of the malfunctioning stuff that I've heard, but I will say that the Teslas are some pretty sleek vehicles. Okay. A 2020 Bentley, she gets that. Her book deal with Powerhouse, a 1% stake in Kirby Beauty Management LLC, as well as furniture, artwork, and all creative work produced during their marriage. Now, Richard, he gets some stuff too, including a 2021 Cadillac Escalade, various bank and retirement accounts, money owed to Richard Lawson Studios, earned royalties, and all his creative works from the marriage. Now, both Tina and Richard, they must sign a non-disclosure agreement that prevents them from speaking negatively about each other or their family members. So good for them. I don't think that sounds too bad, right? I don't think that sounds too bad. Correct? Yeah, that's good. Now, I know Mama Tina likes marriage, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised that she actually got married again. And now when I say she likes marriage, there was actually an interview where she talked about just kind of enjoying, marriage, right? But yeah, I kind of seen Mama Tina once her and Matthew had like cut that short. It's kind of like being one of them women that have somebody like a nun shack up arm candy that go with her everywhere, maybe even a little younger, not younger, because Mama Tina seemed like she would publicly keep it respectful. Public. I don't whoever Mama Tina's doctor is, the plastic surgeon doctor. Yeah, Mama. Yes, baby. Every time you post something, yes, girl. That's all I got to say about that. Listen, do what you need to do, ladies. Do what you need to do. Speaking of doing what they need to do, y'all, Michelle Obama is supposed to be speaking at the Democratic National Convention. Got that from our critics over at essence.com. The place that she's supposed to be speaking in Chicago. That's supposed to be happening this week. She's supposed to be rallying for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz as they officially become the party's nominee. Now, the Republicans, they've already chosen their nominees and nominations have been accepted. Former 45th president and now convicted felon Donald Trump is the nominee, along with his VP pick, who is Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio. They hosted their convention, and I briefly talked about that on a previous episode. And while there have been some disrespectful attacks from the 45th against not only networks, but also VP Harris, as always, it's just gonna make for a very interesting election. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think that photo on the cover of Time magazine of VP Harris looks like your wife, Melania Trump. Okay, stop that. I'm also glad that networks, y'all like CNN, they're taking accountability to fact check this man. Finally. And finally, y'all, let's go black on the inside of Star Magazine's August the 26th issue. On page 3, Jordan Childs and Simone Biles, they're carrying gold weights around their neck. More to come, y'all, on what the United States is actually doing about them taking the medal from Jordan Childs and how it ain't over. Y'all, it ain't over yet. And Kelly Rowland and her family are out at the Great Wolf Lodge Tees Golf Coast grand opening. That's there on page 3 as well. And Jay Ellis, the star of HBO's Insecure, he's out, y'all, promoting his brand new memoir, and it's called "Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend?" He also not only has it in hardback, he also has it on audiobook as well. And while it was not available on Hoopla, I did look it up on Libby, and there is an opportunity to place it on hold for when it is released on Libby. So that was the closest I was able to get to a free resource. If you know something I don't know, y'all, you know what to do. Comment below. And speaking of, you know what I'm saying, like television and all of the things, let's talk a little bit about the Braxtons. Y'all know they're back with episode number 2. Now, this one's a hard one, y'all. The family comes together for grief counseling, and Trina just kind of breaks down. It turns out that when Tracy took her last breath, Trina and also Mama Braxton, they were also there as well. And Trina went over to her live YouTube channel to just kind of talk about grief and the process, and also just kind of processing it out loud with her audience and also her husband as well. And I'm actually glad that she did that. I believe that this was very helpful to her. And just as a reminder, the Braxtons airs on WeTV as well as the All Black Network. And speaking of networks, y'all, the new Bachelor has been announced, and he is a Southern brother from Texas. His name is Grant Ellis. He's a day trader and also a self proclaimed mama's boy who enjoys bowling as well as karaoke nights. Shout out to the ladies over at the Ooh Ladies First panel who told me about the news first. Nisi specifically was talking about this. He also has been on The Bachelorette apparently, and he wasn't chosen on that show. And so because he wasn't chosen as a partner for whatever season he was on, child, they got him over here and got his own little show. And now he is one. He is now the lead for The Bachelor. Now, Ellis is the second Black Bachelor in the franchise in terms of the history. The first was Matt James during the 25th season in 2021. The Bachelor and The Bachelorette both air on ABC. Be sure to check your local listings for showtimes. And speaking of showtimes, I don't know if y'all had a chance to see College Hill Celebrity Edition. The final episode, I believe, aired actually at the end of July. So, um, I like this show, y'all, because it's a positive show. I think that just kind of gives a chance to showcase a different side of what happens at a historically Black college or university. So let's talk a little bit about College Hill. All right, season 3 finale. The entire season was recorded, y'all, at Xavier University in Louisiana. The cast had an entire season of courses that they were required to take, including it was called converged media class, where the class visited like a youth homeless shelter. They took an emotional tour of like a slave plantation as well, which actually, interestingly enough, they have a lot of those in Louisiana. I worked there for about a year, and I did one as a field trip for a program on a contract. So anyway, they also learned about the Zulu parade and also registered people to vote. And every season, y'all know, got a problem person. And I'll just go ahead and tell you directly that the problem person this season is actually Saucy Santana. Let me see you walk, walk, walk. And Saucy was walking out the door to do anything but go to class. Okay. But you'll see that kind of unfold in the season if you choose to get over there and watch it. And while I will not be revealing who the valedictorian was of the season, I was very impressed with the outcome and just kind of the overall way that the season unfolded, especially in comparison to other seasons as well. So shout out to College Hill. I can't wait until the next celebrity edition of College Hill comes out. And I also want to give a shout out to the producer over there, executive producer, Tracy Edmonds. Please continue to come out with shows like this. I think this is an opportunity as well for them to earn a degree, because they do get a certificate at the end of this particular show. So yeah, okay. And while I'm trying to sing, y'all, American Idol, gotta talk about this. Now, this is a selfish talk about, because I was rooting for Fantasia to get the chair over there at American Idol. And although she did not go to her, y'all, it went to Carrie Underwood. Now, Carrie Underwood, she was on season 4, I believe, of American Idol. Now, I probably watched American Idol maybe the first 7 or 8 seasons, maybe 6. After Jordan Sparks won, I kind of didn't really watch as much no more. But Variety.com reports that Carrie will take the chair next to Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan as the newest judge when the show returns for season 23. Damn. Damn, is it 23 seasons? Y'all. Oh my gosh. While I was honestly hoping that they would spice it up with our soul sister Fantasia, they didn't. I am glad though they did choose somebody who was an American Idol alum. Now, if you remember, Fantasia won American Idol back in early 2004. In fact, when I was looking up some of these folks, and I realized some of the early winners are doing actually pretty good, right? You got Kelly Clarkson. She has her own daytime show, and she recently actually won an Emmy, I believe. Ruben Studdard, this is my sorry for 2004. Why? I ain't gonna mess up. Okay, I'm done. He's over there living life as a family man. Fantasia won season 3, and she just starred in The Color Purple. She's performed at the Grammy. She's gotten married. Now, she got married a few years ago. I'm just putting that in there. And she also had another baby. So Fantasia, she really is out here killing it. Now, I see Fantasia transitioning into that's a side note. That's a side note, and I'll go ahead and save it for later. And of course, Jordan Sparks, she won season 6 and became the youngest winner of American Idol. And she too is now living the family life and has since done some movies and some other things as well, and showcased being a mom as well. So tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. That's a song with Chris Brown. It's been while we're actually talking, particularly about Chris Brown. I know that y'all have heard. Now, this is really Tank's fault. Tank, you bringing Chris all up in this, okay? It sounds like Tank has just put his foot in his mouth again, saying that Chris Brown is a better performer than Michael Jackson. Now, this is not the first, y'all, or the second time that Tank has said this. Tank and Jay Valentine, they host a podcast and it's called R&B Money. And this is the podcast that I wanted Brian No Longer McKnight to go on. Anyway, Tank mentioned this same thing, right? Saying that Chris Brown was basically a better performer than Michael Jackson. All right. So a few years ago, TGIF reported this tweet, and the tweet said, I've been saying this for years. Somebody tweeted declaring that Chris Brown was more talented than Michael Jackson. And that's when Tank responded saying, I've been saying this for years. Welcome to the fold. Singer, dancer, writer, producer, actor, painter, clothing designer, gymnast, etc. MJ is the greatest, but CB, meaning Chris Brown, has more gifts, is all we're saying. So Tank ain't just come to this conclusion, to be honest with y'all. You know, he's been saying this, but he was recently on a platform, I believe it was Stephen A. Smith. Is he a sports commentator? Forgive me that I don't know his exact title. And it just kind of caused quite a debate. It didn't strike nothing in terms of me because again, I've just kind of heard him say this before. And I think after listening to the R&B Money podcast more than a couple of times and hearing him and his opinion, because there was a time that he was on there and one of the producers that they brought on as a guest had to just kind of run down Michael Jackson's resume for him, you know, and then that's when Tank kind of like pulled back a little bit. But Tank has been saying this, y'all. This is not nothing new. But Chris Brown responded, actually. He was kind of like, he didn't say keep my name out your mouth, but he basically said the following. He said, that's cap. I stay the hell out of that debate. My personal take is that I wouldn't even be breathing or being able to sing a song if that man didn't exist, meaning Michael Jackson. So I don't know if they look at it like a Jordan and Kobe thing, but I don't even look at it. He's light years ahead. There is no competing with him. Hell no. So I'm so glad that actually Chris came out and said that. And then, yeah, come on, Tank. Why are you getting Chris in trouble like that? Chris had to come out and had to make a statement. I'm actually glad that he made that statement. I haven't agreed with a lot of stuff that Chris has always said, but when it came to that, I actually completely agree. So shout out to Chris for being able to come out and say that. And then going into a little bit of more of Black there on the inside, want to talk a little bit about Us Weekly. Talked about how 50 Cent was gracing the cover of the entrepreneurial, the entrepreneur issue. I was going to say entrepreneurial, messed all of that up, but he's on the entrepreneur issue of Us Weekly. Now, y'all, 50 Cent is something else. But on the inside of the issue there is daughter Monaco of Jeannie Mai. They're talking a little bit there about parenthood. Page 3 captured the fabulous Miss Cheryl Lee Ralph buying what is listed as congratulatory bouquet while on her way to attend a taping for her co-star. And then on page 5, they talk about Terry McMillan's brand new movie, Tempted by Love, which came out last night, I believe, on Lifetime. And also saying that her bad habit is trying to multitask. And these days, I can relate definitely to that. Page 10 has Keke Palmer wearing a cute Dolce & Gabbana number, as well as Lala Anthony in a strapless Alexander McQueen dress, complemented at the top with lace and at the bottom with a red flare. On page 16, they're reminiscing a little bit with Kerry Washington. The time that she actually dressed up as Sha'Carri Richardson, dubbing herself Sha'Carri as in Shakerry. You get it? Okay. A little cheesy, but also I like it. I like it. The kind of cheesy I like, right? Will Smith is on page 20 during a delayed flight, and instead of sticking to the airport scene, he got out to sightsee. I believe he actually showcased that as well on his Instagram page. If you want to just kind of like see what he really did when he was sightseeing. And Queen Mary J. Blige is on page 32, celebrating 3 decades of what's the 411. Got a little candid about her career, saying that when she was recording, she ain't realized nothing was going to be a hit. None of them songs. Okay. She said her secret, as long as it feels good to you, people will follow. Right. So when people ask her what is her secret when it comes to being in the studio, that's just kind of what she says when she's choosing music. She sees herself retiring in the next few years, according to the article. And when she does Mary plans to travel the world and go to places that she said that she's never seen before, being on some yachts and enjoying the fruits of her labor. 50 Cent is on page 36. He has an entire 6-page spread, y'all. Be sure to check that out if you get a chance. And Ludacris is on page 49 talking about the special dinner that his mom makes for him on his birthday. He's talking food, y'all. It's through a partnership that he has. And the dish that his mama used to make for him was chicken Alfredo. And also just kind of a side note, he don't like sardines. That's what he said. That's what he said. All right. So then you got actor Mike Coulter. He's on page 52 talking his brand new movie with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg. It's called The Union. It's also already out if you want to check that out. I believe it's on Netflix. Page 53 highlights the Netflix film Daughters, a film that follows 4 young girls headed toward a daddy-daughter dance with their incarcerated fathers in Washington, D.C. And the ever so classic Pam Grier, the original Foxy Brown, talks 25 things we did not know about her on page 60. She says her favorite way to vacation is road tripping. She also rescues and fosters animals. She's a military brat. Plus, she favors winter sports like skiing as well as snowmobiling. Never been snowmobiling, but to me, that sounds like one of the fun things to do in terms of winter sports. Skiing, I'm very good at like taking pictures and videos, so I don't mind videoing nobody, but I would prefer the snowmobile. Now that looks fun. And if you missed the previous breaking news story, no worries. I've linked it below in the previous episode. I talked Pastor Keon Anderson asking his congregation for millions. The arrest of Scott Jackson plus Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson reconcile their relationship. According to a photo that he posted on his Instagram picture, that's what it looked like. Well, thanks y'all for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.